Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Jay back at it again, and today we got College Degree is the New High School Diploma by the Ty Boogie Podcast. You already know what the deal is. 100K on both J's here and J's there by the end of the year. And without further ado, let's get right into it.
I'm literally having like a midlife crisis. Like, all these jobs out here are paying $23, $24, $25 an hour, and I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but like, that's just not enough money. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm gonna be in debt for my whole fucking life.
Other applicants, I appreciate your interest in McDonald's.
McDonald's. Imagine you go to school, all elementary school, middle school, and high school. That's already like 12, 13 some years. And then imagine after that, you pay thousands of dollars in money you don't have, so you going into debt just to work at McDonald's, bro. That is dead ass wild to me, man.
All jokes aside, the job market is absolutely horrendous. Since I graduated, I have applied to over 733 jobs.
All of our lives, we were pressured into going to college.
We were.
And some people made the best out of going to college. Some people just went to college just the same.
Yeah, some people went to college, had a good experience, got the degree, were able to pay off their debt, and they're probably working a stable job, making more than enough money to support themselves and to feed their families. But a lot of people go to college and the exact opposite happens. They go to college, they're promised that if you go to college, your life gonna get so much better, it's gonna be great. And then they find out that the job market is not only not caring that you got a college degree, but now you gotta work to get experience after you already got your college degree. So you in debt, and since it's compounded interest, the debt is getting greater. Meanwhile, you working at McDonald's, Target, or I don't know, like just a shoe store or something that's not paying enough for you to be able to pay off that debt. So what happens is you got like a lot of people, mainly Gen Z, who go to college, do all this stuff, and it's like what you were expecting, what the life you were told you were gonna have, you just don't see it.
Went to college to make their parents proud. But I don't think there's enough people with degrees that's telling the truth about the experience of having a degree. Especially if you grew up in some type of Caribbean family like myself. A college degree was the answer to all problems. If you had heart problems, it's because you need a degree. If your car ain't got no gas, because you need a college degree. People are starting to realize that college degrees aren't what they used to be.
Yeah, that's why people are going to trade school. Like I heard that computer programming, right, started to go down for people who graduated college. Because now they're just hiring these people, like these, high schooler, like, age-level people who taught themselves how to code at the crib. And they're like, yo, I can just get these guys for cheaper. So a lot of this is corporate greed playing a role in this. So it's playing a hand. Because why would I pay this guy who spent all this time and money, who expects like 30, 35 an hour, when I can pay this guy who's in high school or fresh out of high school who hasn't gone to college, and I can just pay him and give him a job for 20. So a lot of these companies and businesses are just willing to pay less for cheaper labor as well.
They're starting to feel more like the high school diplomas. Check this out.
Actively looking for a job, the job market is absolutely cooked. For reference, I graduated from the University of Virginia with a 3.6 GPA in computer science. But today I received this.
3.6 is solid. 3.6 is definitely solid.
McDonald's application. Thank you for applying to the role. The competition was high and you were among a number of very strong candidates. We decided to move forward with applicants, so I appreciate your interest in McDonald's.
McDonald's, not like a high state job that's paying like around, let's say, 80K plus a year. No, fucking McDonald's. The job that everybody starts off at and doesn't want to end up. Like, you don't want to be in McDonald's. Nobody wants to work at McDonald's well into their 30s. Nobody. I refuse to believe someone is in love with working at McDonald's. That's just cap.
All jokes aside, the job market is absolutely horrendous. Since I graduated, I have applied to over 733 jobs. I've only gotten 2 second-round interviews and 0 offers. If you can refer me for a coding job, or you can help me get a coding job, please message me.
See, this person here does not have a college degree. See, this person here does not have a college degree. You see these dogs right here? They have college degrees.
See, once upon a time, all you needed was a high school diploma. To get a job, to buy a house, to raise a family, all you needed was a little high school diploma. But in today's America, the high school diploma is barely a ticket into the door.
Yeah.
You look down upon from your family. Society usually doesn't respect a person that doesn't have a degree. But even a bachelor's degree doesn't guarantee anything. In fact, in 2025...
Yeah, from what I've seen, a bachelor's degree does not guarantee a lot. right? You know what I'm saying? Some people go to college for years upon years upon years, get a job, and now they're still living paycheck to paycheck.
This degree is starting to feel a lot like a high school diploma. You spend all that time trying to get that degree, spend all that money, you do all that studying just for you to be stuck on Indeed begging for a job still.
Does having a degree matter when it comes to making money in Canada?
I think in some cases it does. It opens some doors that wouldn't be available to you if you didn't have it.
Fair enough. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a private banker.
Okay, and do you have education for that?
I do. I got a 4-year business degree.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, roughly how much do you make in a year?
I make roughly $130,000 a year.
Good
And do
money.
you think that you'd be where you are today without your education?
I think I would have needed it to get in the door in the first place, but after you get in the door, the degree doesn't do a lot for you.
Okay, good to know. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay. The degree doesn't do a lot for you.
Okay, good.
That man basically said you need the degree to get into like the dungeon, right? You needed to get into the cave, but once you have the key, you need the keys to the city, but once you're in the city, you don't need it no more. That's basically what he said.
Good to know. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But after you get in the door, the degree doesn't do a lot for you.
Okay, good to know. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
So America has basically become pay to play. This piece of paper has enough power to get you in a room, but it doesn't actually say you can do the job, which is why a lot of jobs are now asking for experience too. But how am I gonna have experience?
That's like, jobs are just like, bro, you telling me I need experience. So first off, bro, I need experience. So I gotta work at the job to gain XP. But if every job wants experience, how am I supposed to get experience? Furthermore, like if you're trying to focus on your school and your health, it's like, how are you supposed to do that and do all that stuff and then work a job and still be in good health standings and all that? You feel what I'm saying? So I can definitely see how a lot of people would be overwhelmed with this current situation that the economy and the job market is in.
Experience if I just got this degree. See, back in the day, your grandparents, all they had to do was get a high school diploma and go straight to the plant and get one of those jobs. But all of these jobs have been automated now because technology is more advanced. So
Yeah,
now
they've been automated. Yeah, your grandparents could way easier get a job, and even if they got like a lower end job, they were still making decent money because the economy back in the 50s and 60s was way better than it is nowadays, right? And now with automation, women joining the workforce en masse, immigration and globalization, it's like your competition has gotten at bare minimum like what? You gained at least twice the amount of competition, and so your individual labor is so much lower than it was in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and the amount that it takes to live has gotten way higher versus the wages which have stagnated.
Say, okay, you got to get a degree. You need to have a degree just so you can possibly get an interview. My problem with a degree is, why do I have to learn all of this extra stuff? Like, if I want to be an engineer, why do I have to learn social studies? I fail social studies, I can't become an engineer.
Which is stupid because engineers don't use social studies. They don't. Engineers are using AP Physics, you know, depending on what type of they're doing, they need knowledge of nuclear physics, right? Maybe knowledge of aerospace, regular like engineering based knowledge, algebra, calculus. They're using STEM stuff. So why the hell am I doing English if I know I'm going to be an engineer? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's just stupid.
I'm getting a degree in some type of mechanics. Why is it mandatory that I have to get an elective in order to have a certain amount of credits so I could graduate with this degree? And then when you look at the electives, it's electives like history of art. And then you may be saying to yourself, at least you'll get more information. I'm going to college so I can get a job that helps me work with my hands. I can get it. The field, the job that
That's the problem. I think this stems with high school as well. It's like, you got to get this class. You need this amount of credits. But the problem is, if you know what you want to be and you already have an idea of it, why do I have to take? If I know, let's say I want to be an engineer, like a mechanic, right? Hands-on job. You don't got to talk to that many people. You're focused mainly on like equations and STEM stuff. So you're going to take AP Physics, you know, maybe aerospace, engineering 1, engineering 2, honors pre-cal. You're taking those type of classes, right? STEM-based classes. Why do I have to do English? Why do I have to do honors literary art if I know what I'm going to do? Oh, you got to do it for the credit. But if I know what I want to do, what's the point of doing this class that's not going to help me towards my goal? right? Like, what's the point of it? Like, it defeats the purpose. I honest to God think it defeats the purpose of it. And now you're spending more time in the class. You're gonna have to allocate more time and more resources towards the class that you know isn't gonna help you in the next even the next 3 to 5 years. So it's like, what's the point, right?
It has nothing to do with history of art. So why exactly do I need to have an elective? Because here's the thing, it's one thing if I'm just doing this for pastime, but it's another thing if you tell me I have to do it and I have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Even though this has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do in life. I feel like college is the biggest Ponzi scheme that America was able to indoctrinate.
Yeah, they are able to scam y'all because college has become so important. Oh, you need college, you need college, you need college. But back in the day, the sentiment I say of college being super important originated great grandparents and grandparents, right? Back when college was super cheap. Even if you had a high school diploma, you were respected by a good amount of society. You could still work a regular job. It was easy to get a job back in the day. And college was very effective back in that system, right? But nowadays, college is not the same. Like, people my age, 16 to let's say ages 16 to 28, right? Pretty broad range, but we're playing a different ball game. We are on a different court when it comes to trying to get a job versus your grandparents, bro. Grandparents are doing, it's a 2-on-2 at, the Planet Fitness. The LA Fitness. You know, y'all are not even trying that hard, and you doing layups. Trying to get a job now for a lot of people feels like fourth quarter of the NBA, 2 minutes left on the clock, y'all are down 6 points, and you in the middle of the court, you got to make a bucket. That is what it feels like for a lot of people to get these jobs, man.
Over people. Now, if you're saying that guy that wants to be an engineer or that guy that wants to be a lawyer is taking only law classes, is taking only engineer classes the whole 4 years that they're in college, maybe we can have a different conversation. But the fact that college forces you to have all of these extra classes,
bro, that's why I'm doing dual credit in high school, bro. Dual credit English. Because I'm not about to want to be an engineer and then have to do English. I'm paying for this shit. It makes no sense.
Paying thousands of dollars for should raise some eyebrows on the business of college and why it's
so why a lot of people are opting for just trade schools or community colleges or just making their own business in their rooms with computers and microphones. There's a lot of people are opting for that because a lot of people are seeing that, this college shit is not that it's all cracked up to be. You feel me?
Promoted to people. And then you hear from a lot of people that have degrees that they actually learn their job at the job. So you mean to tell me it took me 4 years?
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't learn your job by sitting in a room taking notes all day. You don't learn that way, right? I refuse to believe that you're gonna have a better understanding of a subject by sitting in a room, watching a slide, taking notes all day versus just doing the job. Getting an internship. People learn better by getting an internship and getting time in the field. I could show you all the plays in football. I have a whole slide for what to do and what not to do. If you've never practiced before, you're going to be ass. Versus if I tell you the plays, you get in the field, you make a lot of mistakes, but you learn through repetition and actually implementing what you learn and what you know, then you're going to get better. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. Right? Like me personally, my video editing skills would have not improved. My commentary would have not improved if I never posted a lot of videos. I've posted video after video after video after video after video on both Jay's here, the main channel, and Jay's there, this channel, the reaction, kind of talking, yapping channel, right? My commentary and my ability to just construct my thoughts and be able to push them out in a way to add to the video, it would have never gotten this good or have even improved if I didn't get reps in this shit. If I didn't get reps in the field, bro. That's why I don't understand why a lot of these colleges or classes are so big on notes. How many people look at their notes and learn something from it? They just learn it for the test and they don't implement them ever again. You learn by actually going to the job and working. Getting internship, getting taught from people or getting tips from people who are older than you who've done this for a decade longer
to learn something. 4 years and getting into debt just to get to a job and learn something in 2 weeks with no real prior knowledge?
Yeah.
Where exactly did the college system even come from? Because me, as somebody with a 4-year degree, most of the things I've learned from life has been from experiencing life. So if I'm paying 4 years straight out of high school and I'm expecting
straight out of high school, you don't even got money like that. Most people in high school, especially nowadays, do not have money to be doing this, so they go into debt. And I think this is why a lot of you call the college system is predatory. Cause like, yo, these young people, young girls and gals is being told, young dudes and gals, it's like, they're being told that, yo, college is everything, bro. If you don't go to college, you cook, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go to college. Your parents is telling you this, your teacher's telling you this. So we can make these prices through the fucking roof. And they're gonna pay for it anyways. And since they ain't got no money like that, they gonna have to go into debt, get that, compounded interest. So it's gonna get higher and higher. So you basically get this system where you go into college, you may not even get a job once you get out of college, and yet you in thousands of dollars of debt. I've seen a documentary. There is a dentist, right? I believe he was a dentist. He was making like, I don't know how much money, like well over 200K a year, but his debt was like 400,000 something. So it's like this nigga was in a never-ending struggle to pay that off.
And I'm expecting to be this smart adult by the end of these 4 years that I received this paper. Why don't I know anything about how to buy a house? Why wasn't anybody explaining anything about credit to me? Why don't I know how to run a business properly?
The college thing is just another middle class trap. You're giving up your most valuable thing, time, and trading it for debt, another terrible thing for you. If you just looked at it from a business, the all around college is awful. Unless you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a politician and become president of the United States, the return on college is pretty dismal. We're not taught expansion, we're taught contraction. Saving money is a contraction concept. No one ever went broke because they didn't save enough money. No one ever went broke because they spent too much. People go broke because their income stops. If you're earning more income than you're spending, then you're always going to be fine, particularly if it's passive income, not earned income. The school is teaching us how to get a job and how to get some money, but they never teach us what to do with the money and how to get money to multiply. The ultimate goal of wealthy people is not to have income at all. It is to have passive income that is not earned, but that comes from investments. Cash flow is more valuable than cash because cash goes down in value, and as it goes to zero, you want to replace that with assets that go up in value and that spit off little bits of cash so that you live off the cash flow and never touch the capital.
Exactly. This nigga spitting. He's spitting. I read this. This is basically what I learned reading this book. Like, I know he's like paraphrasing his own way, but let me see if I can get the book itself, because I know I got it in here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, it's under my Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's basically what the author talked about, Robert T. Kiyosaki. That's basically what he said, bro. It's not about saving money, just save. It's about how much you're making versus how much you're spending, right? You don't want to just have all your income be earned income, no. You want to use the income you get to invest and buy assets that go up in value, because cash money goes down, cash flow goes up. Assets are going to go up. And you want those assets to make so much money that they spill off into the cash, right? Like, YouTube channel is an asset. Having something that is earning you money more than you're expending. You want something that's earning you more money than you're spending to keep it. That's an asset.
The asset.
All right, guys, listen up.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
We need ideas. Something that's gonna make us a ton of money. I've got it. Okay, so we all know how clueless kids coming out of high school are, right? They're hopeless. Right, so what if we lie to them? Tell them that if they come and join our organization for a fee, plenty of fees, they are guaranteed an amazing job in any industry that they want to go into. Dude is on to something. Right. Okay, but here's the catch. The first 2 years of this experience with our organization, they are going to just redo what they already did in high school. Genius. Hit him with that Uno reverse. You feel? We just sprinkle in some specific classes for whatever industry that they think they're trying to go into. Then, once they're done at our organization, we give them something to feel like they've accomplished something. Like what? I don't know, like a piece of paper or something. Mind you, we've been paid. We've been paid already. But they go out and try to get a job and they realize that what they have is not enough. Boom. Hit them with the upsell. Master's degree. Master's degree. What's that? Came up with that myself. Then they start the process all over again, baby. Give this man a raise. But won't it be so obvious our entire goal is just to make money? Right. We distract them with the most god-tier partying and consumption of recreational liquids. The best that you can imagine.
They really done drafted like a Eisen level game plan and lure these little niggas in, bro. You can't, hey, bro. You can't knock them. I can knock them because what they're doing is wrong. But it's like these niggas really done crack the code on like something. They done crack the code. It's like, yo, we just gonna teach these niggas what they learned in high school, man. It's like, it's genius, yo. Yo, that shit wow.
And by no means necessary am I telling y'all not to go to college, because by the end of the video, I'm going to bring it all home. But let's just think about what we have been told. The understanding that we have.
This isn't to say that college is completely useless. It's not to say that. However, right, like the dude already said, college can help you get your foot in the door, but like a lot of these things you were told as growing up is that college is everything, and now a lot of people are getting a different perspective on it now that they're all grown up.
On college, they tell us that college is the key, but college is not no golden ticket. It is a bill. Student debt is crushing a whole generation of people. Imagine owing $80,000 in debt just to get a job that pays you $45,000, which is why I say that from an investment standpoint, college does not guarantee anything but a bill. And the older generation pushes it extremely hard on us because in their time to have a degree, it was really rare. But today you can have it and still struggle, because the truth is most of these colleges just want your money. Okay, they will let you get a degree in something like fine arts, knowing that no jobs is really hiring for a fine arts degree. And a lot of times those kids, they're just happy that they're getting a degree in something and they're gonna make their parents proud. Then you graduate and realize that was a whole waste of 4 years, and nobody told you you might want to change that, because you're gonna have to pay $50,000 to $100,000 back in loans. Nobody breaks that part down to you, while you're saying to yourself, oh yeah, well I want to major in something that I'm passionate in. No, you need to be majoring in something that the job market is actually hiring for, because you're going to be walking around after a passionate 4 years and having to pay $1,000 a month back on top of all the other bills it takes to survive. I'm telling you, it doesn't hit you until it's time for you to pay that degree back. They give you a good grace period until you have to pay them. But then when it starts hitting and you realize, damn, I gotta pay back $600 to $1,000 a month off of a salary of making $45,000 a year. You'll do that math, along with paying your rent, your car note, your insurance, your light bill, groceries. Now you have this expensive piece of paper just sitting on top of your fireplace, and you're just happy that you did it. But nothing really to show for it beside the paper that's sitting up there. Because nobody really walked you through the right way to go to college, which is why I say the whole college business is a scam, because they're not actually telling you guys the truth about college. It is almost like you're lying by omission. They not give me the full game, the wins and the losses. And I know some of y'all are probably like,
give me both sides of it. Like, yes, on the good end of college, you can have a little bit of debt, or maybe you have very wealthy parents so you don't even have debt in the first place. But you go into college, you get a great degree, you get a really good job, and now you're making well over 6 figures a year, and you're able to get a nice house and get a nice family, and your life is basically set from your mid to late 20s and onward. And then the bad end, you spend hundreds, if not, well, you've spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on a degree and waste 4 years of your life for a fine arts degree, from an emotional theory degree. I don't even think that's a thing, but you get the point.
Yeah, but that's not true. Okay, let me ask you a question. Would you invest in something, $50,000 to $100,000 into something, knowing that there's a 50-50 chance that you will not get a return on your investment? No, that sounds like a bad business deal. So because I know that sounds like a bad business deal, your whole life from the time that you enter school, I'm gonna make it seem like college is the mandatory fix for the success you want in life. Because I need it to be indoctrinated into you before you understand the games that's really being played.
The Bible speaks of him singing over us. He does that sometimes when I'm in worship, and I kept saying, God, you can blow my mind. He sang back to me, he said, I'm about to do.
No one likes student loans, but if you give me a choice between working at a dead-end job for $30K or $40K a year with no room for advancement or elevation versus going to school for maybe 2 to 4 years to collect some advanced degree that will allow me to make 6 figures, I'm gonna take the debt every time.
So as it turns out, the student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years have a 17% interest rate. So what I thought
17% should be actually legal.
Off for all this time, I'm actually I owe more than what I started off with. What the fuck? So Jeff Bezos, this would be a really cool fucking time to Venmo me, bro. I owe $90,000 and I didn't even spend that much on school. Any rich person, please tap in. Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah, that interest can fuck you. It's not even the initial shit. You think, oh, I only got $30,000, I can pay it off in 2 years. Then they hit your ass with that interest.
Probably have 8 houses. I'm never gonna be able to buy one because I went to college. I just signed up to be an egg donor. Guess what? I got approved. Who wants my fucking kids? I can't afford them, so start admitting more. Just fucking take them. What do you want? My left arm too? What the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm gonna be in debt for my whole fucking life. How does that even make sense? I signed up for this shit when I was 17. This should not be legal, bro. I got upset about it at work, and my coworker was like, don't you have a rich relative who can pay that for you? No, my family's poor. No. And the worst fucking part is, bro, look where I am. I can't go in because I can't spend money, but I just want to be here because it makes me feel better.
Meanwhile, trade jobs like electricians, plumbers, mechanics, they're making 6 figures with no degrees. See, in my opinion, I feel like if somebody doesn't know exactly what they want to major in, but they just want to major in something, I think that you should take a break from college.
Yeah.
And get you a...
If you don't know what you want to major in, I do not recommend you go to college. At least not that early. If you do not have a vision, do not go to college. Because you're going to get a weak-ass degree and get hoed.
Go to a tech school. Electricians make around $60,000. Plumbers make about $60,000. HVAC is working with the AC. They're also making about $60,000 and up. CDL drivers, $50,000.
These jobs, they make around $60,000, and you don't even need a degree or go into debt. They will get you right with way less expenses and way less debt if you want to be a plumber or electrician. If you want that degree later on, that's cool. You can always go to college, right? It's not going to be the same as if you in your late teens, early 20s, but there's no shame in having a game plan. Going to college a little bit later. There's no shame in that.
$1,000 and up. The difference with these guys, they don't have an expense of an extra $1,000 that they're paying to debt for them to be able to get the certificate.
So they get their money, they get their certificate, but they don't have to backtrack and pay all this debt. So they essentially, all right, I got this much here. Oh, I got bills, rent, groceries, car notes, all that. And, maybe maybe I'm going to put some in my savings. Now, I'm going to use the rest of this money to invest in the stocks, buy assets, to make smart money moves, so that way in a couple years, not only am I going to have this job, but I'm going to have cash flow coming in, which is going to make me even more money.
That they needed to do their job, and they can actually scale to make it into an actual business, to the point where they don't have to manually work anymore. But society is not gonna hype that stuff up. They make you feel less than if you don't go to college. They say go get a degree, but they don't tell you what to get a degree for. Like, we need to stop celebrating people just getting degrees. We need to start celebrating people getting degrees in the right stuff. Because you get a degree in liberal arts, you're making around $38,000 coming out of college. Performing arts, $38,000. Religion, $38,000. General social science, $40,000. History, fine arts, $40,000. And then I want you to subtract taxes and subtract $7,200 a year just to pay back college. And in this market, it's very hard to survive off of that much money. Raising a family. Now, if we're talking about combining incomes, now that's different. But people that get degrees spend so much money to get that piece of paper, they should be walking out to some six figures. Because if I have to spend $50,000 just to make $38,000, that's a bad investment. I could have made $38,000 without getting that piece of paper.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a plumber.
Cool. How long have you been doing that?
Maybe about 4 years now.
4 years. And how much do you make?
Well, it's depending on the amount of work I do, but roughly between 90 and 110,000 a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you feel well compensated?
Yeah.
How do you get into plumbing? Any advice for others who are interested in it?
Well, there's a lot of companies that, if people want to get into it, they'll just send you to school for free.
Okay.
And then give you a job after that.
Which companies?
FH Fur does it. Michael & Son does it. They're really hurting for tradespeople right now, so there's a lot of business for everybody.
I'm literally having like a midlife crisis. Like, all these jobs out here are paying $23, $24, $25 an hour, and I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but like, that's just not enough money. Like, I cannot survive. I cannot live. I have kids. Like, I cannot use $23, $24, $25 an hour and make a living. Okay, like, it's not enough money. It's simply not enough money. It's just not. And it's like, did I go back to school and get a bachelor's degree for what? What did I get a bachelor's degree for? To make $23, $24, $25 an hour? For what?
Bro, see, this video isn't to tell y'all not to go to college, but I also don't look down upon anybody that doesn't. And
I would say if you want to go to college, major in something good. Lawyer, doctor, engineering, something along those lines. And you need to have a game plan before you go into college. You're not going to college and pay all this money and invest all this time, because time is your greatest asset in this life. Do not invest all of this as soon as you get out of high school if you don't know what you want to do. If you know what you want to do exactly and you already have a game plan, okay, cool, right? If you know, you might leave with a little bit of debt, but you know you're going to get a good job, or you have a high probability of getting a good job that pays very handsomely, right? So you get this job, you know, you pay your student debt slowly, and then next thing you know, you're out of it, and now you have a stable job and you got work experience, right? That's the high end, and now you set for life. That's like the high end. That's the desire. That's what people want, right? And there's also the low end, which I already talked about, of getting $38,000 a year, not making enough money, and now the debt is getting interest, so you're even in more debt than you were originally started with, and now you kind of in this bad position. But on the high end, college can be a great experience. You'll never have anything like it. Being free, you know, late teens, early 20s, kicking it with your boys and your friends, going to parties. If you are in college for the experience, and if you are in it for the experience, go right after high school. If you're in it for the degree and the education and more into that stuff, I'd say if you know what you want to do, cool, right? But if you want to take a year after high school to just figure out what you want to do and you want to work, start up a business, or at least make an attempt to, that's cool, man. You don't gotta jump right from senior year to high school immediately. If you need to take time, take a little bit of time. Now, that doesn't mean laying around the crib all day and do nothing. No, that means if you aren't going to college right after high school, you should be trying to work a job, try to start like a business, try to, you know, gain some experience in other fields. You should try to see what works, see what doesn't, so that when you go into college, you have a game plan, right? Things of that nature.
I have my degree, and in case you was wondering, I got my degree in business and logistics. Why? Because that is the only experience I have on the civilian side, which was doing quality assurance in a warehouse, and I also did 10 years as a logistics specialist in the military. So it made sense for my degree, because most jobs will ask for experience. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I really got my degree just to give it to my grandmother. My grandmother, she's Haitian. She wanted me the degree so bad, so I did it for her. But most people that I know that have degrees are still struggling, still trying to figure it out. After all that money spent at college, life is still a struggle.
That's why I'm high-key thinking the route is just doing a trade school. Trade school be like, oh, you want to be a plumber? Bet, nigga. Here's a job. Here's what you need to do. Yeah, go at it. You want to be a electrician? Bet, nigga. Here's your hat and your toolkit, nigga. like that's what it sounds like. At least from what I'm hearing.
Times changing and AI taking away jobs, you need to be even that more strategic on what you go to college for. Stop worrying about what you're passionate about and see what does the market actually need. What jobs aren't going to be taken away.
You gotta drop off a game plan. You gotta drop off like a game plan. You can't. This ain't 1950 no more. We done with the 90s. We gotta drop off it. We playing a different ball game.
Doctors, engineering, law, cybersecurity. I don't even think you need an actual degree for cybersecurity. I think you can get a certificate.
Shit, you could learn that shit at the crib, nigga. Watch a YouTube tutorial on me.
For that. Just whatever you do, don't just get a degree because it sounds nice to say I have a bachelor's degree. Also, stop quitting your job to find another job after you finish your degree. Instead, what I would do, now if it's a toxic environment, that's different. But instead, what I would do is work your way up at that job that you're at. Maybe you started entry level. And then once you finish your degree, you're already in their system. All you have to do is talk to the right person, let them know you finished your degree, left seat, right seat somebody, and they can move you into that position. Rather than them hiring somebody brand new that they don't know off of the streets, that they're gonna have to train up to understand their systems, they would much rather put you. If you network and market yourself well at your jobs, which is why I always say, always carry yourself apart. Because you never know who's watching and can't wait to give you an opportunity. It's much easier to grow within a franchise you're already in than to join a brand new franchise. I don't care if you have to be a janitor at that place until you finish your degree. At least you're in the building. Work your way up. I think the biggest problem that I have with school is that I hear too many people base success based on whether or not you have a college degree. School is not for everybody. Like, I'm a very smart individual, I feel like myself, but I'm not the best test taker. And the thing about school, you have to pass tests.
Yeah, that's the thing. School trains you how to just take tests. You gotta know how to take this test. You're gonna have this exam. In the real world, they don't really value that, from what I know. They don't value just test takers, right? They don't just value that shit.
You can get great grades, but if you fail those tests at the end of those assignments, you'll fail that course. So does that mean that you're not smart, or does that mean you just having an off day? I know people that can't even speak English that can do an American job better than some Americans, but they'll have problems with the English language. So just because you don't have a degree does not mean you cannot be great.
The biggest problem is that schools are incentivized to just focus on testing because it's a policy in which, you know, the higher tests you score, the higher your average grade point is for your test takers, the more funding you get. So schools are more focused on just sacrificing everything for the quiz and the test versus actually teaching this stuff. They don't teach cursive. Some schools are getting rid of the numerical clock. You know what I'm saying? Because students can't read it, which is, if they can't read it, teach it to them. It's your job. Like, they're sacrificing everything at the expense of just a point system, which is obviously a terrible idea.
Don't let people make you feel small and as if you don't deserve the finer things in life because you didn't finish school. School is not for everybody. Most of the CEOs in America do not have degrees. How ironic is it that people go to college to work for somebody that didn't go to college? And then we look down upon people that don't go to college. There's something for everybody. And if college wasn't for you, well, by all means, there's something out there for you. Just make sure you have a good plan. And for my people that are going to college, please be strategic.
Yeah, man, that was a good video. Shout out to Willie Buckhead. But, yep, this is going to be a long one. Yep. 40 minutes. 4 in the morning. We hustling. But with that being said, man, shout out to the Todd Boogie Podcast for a good video. And with that being said, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay blessed. It's your boy Jay, and I'm out.